unmatched one in our lifetime. We experience that our food system and our health system are not really updated to the real citizen and society needs. Centralization of health treatment, hospital, such as concentration in food chain, have showcased all their weakness nowadays. In the months to come, maybe years, we will face an unprecedented economic crisis, and we need to fight this shifting from the business as usual to a business for people approach. We need a complete paradigm shift. Cities must rebuild a territorial food system with a high level of resilience, a new relation between urban and rural. How do it? Starting from public food service, investing in future generation, and where the right to a healthy food and the right to work are at the top of the list. Relocalization of farming and shifting into a small and medium scale model instead than an intensive model that is actually the mainstream. That should create thousands of jobs and recover our society from high percentage of unemployment. Giving a role to chefs, cookers, farmers, fishermen in creating a new healthy recipe to feed people instead of using hyper-processed food. Food must become a commons instead a commodity. Public food service must be recognized as a common instead an utility, as it is today. Same for our health system. In Europe, the total food service market is rising 400 billion euro in revenue, employing more than 8.5 million workers. Is a huge economic sector and is facing a huge crisis nowadays. In this sector, the contribution of public food service, that is part of this giant's world, is rising 81 billion euro and is employing 2 million workers and serving each day 85 million meals to European citizens of any age, from children at school and elderly people. Food is a right. Food is a tremendous lever to prevent cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and many other diseases. Food is part of our life, is part of our intestinal microbiota. Many life losses in the last few days due to the coronavirus were already affected by this disease. Food is a huge lever to increase our immune defense and prevent disease. Recent scientific observation is showcasing that air pollution is a cofactor in extremely high level of COVID-19 lethality. Our society is sick. Now, cities as Milano, New York, that they are really impacted by the COVID-19, but many others are developed a food aid system to compensate the restrictive measures taken to limit the spread of the virus. Is not enough. We need to learn from this city and create more synergy in connecting the food dots. The world of food is composed by several food dots, from producer, distributor, processors, restaurant, supermarket. We have all the ingredients to make nice recipe. We need to connect different dots in order to assure also the diversity of our daily meal. Food diversity is one of the key factors also to protect our health. Local authorities, mainly, I should say, cities and region, must review their procurement policy for public food service. And we have a lot of examples in Europe, as the city of Copenhagen, for example, as the city of Ghent, that they really shift in the last 10 years the way to make public food service. But cities must be engaged in the management and in all business process, and not only in the simple procurement steps and simple buyer of service at the lowest price, I should say. They must lead this process, creating a new skill. In Indian city, we believe that the new skill is the city food maker. We don't need only city food policy, of course we need, but we need people that take action today. I invite all cities to join the Milan Food Policy Pact. It's the perfect place where you can share experience and create innovative food policy as I invite the Milan Food Policy Pact itself to study new business model, to foster the process and to give life to new ideas. We must do really whatever it takes. This is a call to action. That's the future we want for our children. Thank you, and I'm available for your question. Of course, water is a huge part, is a big part of our food system, because without water, we cannot produce food. So that's open a huge window on sustainability on the food process. But of course, we need to reduce, for example, meat consumption, especially red meat consumption, in order to use less water, and because otherwise we will really face a huge water scarcity period in the future. That's a huge deal. Food must be a commons, because we can, and I give you an example. In the public food service is the field where I'm more expert. We cannot put the profit of a private company contracting the food service, and they have all the right to do, but we cannot do, because we need to save and to preserve the health of our children. So food must become a commons. Food must become available for everyone, and not only as it is today. Organic food is cost more than the junk food, and we assist to a kind of pandemic on obesity, for example, because low-income people have no access to the right food, to the good food. They have access only to the junk food sometimes. So food must become a commons, starting from public food service, starting from the taxpayer money we use to provide canteen service in every city of the world. It's very simple. Maybe you are not aware that 50% of the world population is fed by small farming activity, by the so-called family farming. So we don't need, we are wasting a high percentage of food in post-consumption, but we are also losing, it's the so-called food losses in the field, and nowadays more, because we have no worker to harvest. That is a paradigm that we have enough arable land to feed all the people with a low impact system. I don't say that we need only organic agriculture, we need agroecology. We need to rethink the way to produce, and we need to relocalize food production. It's really crazy to move and to deliver food all over the world. I remember one, I don't want to say the name of the city, but I was working for a big city in Italy that they were putting in the school canteen organic apple, and this organic apple was coming from China. And I don't want organic apple from China. I'm sorry. I want my organic apple from, or my local apple. And this city was very close to the apple production. So we need to rethink the food miles. As we know already, the air pollution that is coming from the so-called food miles is a huge problem nowadays. So we have enough arable land. We can shift into a more sustainable paradigm of food production. I should say, as I told before, public food service only in Europe is providing 85 million meal per day. So one citizen over 5, and maybe more if we account the active people, is concerned by this kind of service. So it's the first place where I will try to shift. So we can really create a new model of public food service, providing to the two sides of this actual society that they are more weak, children and elderly people. In this coronavirus is more elderly people, but in the world, if there is two sides of the society that they are not really so well protected by the marketing, by the pressure, the high pressure of the marketing, is the youth and the pupils and the elderly people. So starting from, for example, elderly house, starting from school canteen, we can start to provide good food and food that is produced by local actors that together with the city and with all the actors of the city, the food actor, distributor, processor, and farmers and fishermen, should create as a whole a food system, a local food system. That is a starting point. And after, of course, we need to scale up, but it will be already a big success if we arrive to shift the public food service model and using joint venture system with private. We don't need only to internalize the service. We can work between private and public, but under another mentality, another approach, as I told, from business as usual, so business only for profit, to a business for people, business that is able to cover the real needs of people.